No Time to Die is the 25th installment in the James Bond franchise and the swan song for 15-year incumbent Bond, Daniel Craig. It also stars Leah Seydoux, Lashana Lynch, Ana de Armas, Rami Malek and other franchise stalwarts. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my content. In No Time to Die, Bond has left active service and is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica. His peace is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter from the CIA turns up asking for help. The mission to rescue a kidnapped scientist turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. I have been kind of hot and cold on the Daniel Craig Bonds. I've really loved two of them and I really disliked the other two of them, so I've liked half of them. Casino Royale and Skyfall I loved, the other two I just really didn't care for at all. And I kind of felt like on one hand I was a little bit pessimistic about this one because I just really disliked Spectre and I thought, oh, do I have to watch another one of these? But on the other hand I was like, well, every second movie has been good so far, so maybe we're due for another really good one. Daniel Craig, of course, this is his final James Bond movie. This is his 5th film. He has been James Bond for 15 years now. That makes him the single longest serving James Bond actor ever. He hasn't done the most amount of movies, but he has played the character for the longest stretch of time. For so many of us, Daniel Craig has been the Bond of our childhoods. On the other hand, I was like, you know what, I gotta go and see his swan song, his final act, and see him off in the best way possible. I love this movie, I will say that from the top. I thought that this was so much fun, and it's such a relief. And probably a bit of a surprise too, how much I really love this movie, particularly following Spectre, which again I really didn't like at all. The Craig era Bonds have really kind of tried to be super serious and realistic and gritty and tried to distance itself away, particularly the latter half of the Pierce Brosnan era, which was just so wild and wacky and zany. This movie here, it feels like the production team and even Daniel Craig have finally gone, you know what, I feel like it's time to just kind of go all out and just to embrace the fact that this is a James Bond movie. And this has to be the biggest, most bombastic, most explosive, most blockbustery Bond we have had in this franchise. This is a movie that really leans into being a James Bond movie. It has got all of the trademarks, all of the tropes of the Bond movies that we've come to expect, the lines, the cars, the quips, the crazy, over-the-top, unbelievable action sequences that the previous Daniel Craig era movies have kind of tried to tiptoe around, have kind of tried to avoid in order to, you know, try not to be that crazy, over-the-top Bond movie. But the crazy thing here is that it actually works. They found a way to really lean into the Bondisms, to embrace the fact that this is a Bond movie. I think that maybe because we've stuck with this franchise for what is 15 years now, it's finally deserved. It's like this series of Bond movies has done everything it has needed to do, and it's finally time to just get that one crazy Bond movie at the end of the bunch. And it does feel like such a wonderful payoff. There's even so many throwbacks to the classic movies. There are multiple scenes in here that feel like they're ripped straight out of a 1960s Bond movie like Dr. No or From Russia with Love. Some of the music from the earlier movies, I'm not going to say, but one particular song is brought into it from the past movies. And it just got me a little bit emotional because it is actually one of my favourite James Bond songs, if not my favourite James Bond song. And to have it used in the movie in this way was just incredible, and it made this whole experience of this movie just so much better. Daniel Craig delivers his best performance as James Bond in this movie, and I feel like it's because he finally realizes, this is my final time, I'm just going to go all out, I am going to do everything I can, put my all into it, and you can tell on the screen that he's just having so much fun. And these Bond movies, they have to be fun. And the movies that try to be a little bit too serious, Quantum of Solace, Spectre, they just don't work out. This is a movie that just goes over the top and it does everything that you want from a James Bond movie, but it does keep a little bit of that gritty reality in the backbone. This is definitely my favourite of the Daniel Craig era, and I think it could possibly be my favourite James Bond movie ever. I don't know, I have to sit on this a bit. I'm just out of the theatre. I have just seen it like 2 hours ago. I think we came out of the screening, so I'm probably still a little bit buzzing, but I feel like this is probably, if not my favourite, it's really up there with my favourite James Bond movies ever. This movie is, however, very long. I believe it's the longest James Bond movie ever. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes, maybe a little bit under. Most of the time, you don't really feel the length of the movie. It goes by pretty quick. There's so many huge action set pieces and moments and stuff, and so many great set pieces that really keep you just non-stop. For the most part of the movie, it is like balls to the wall. But there is a moment in the middle where the movie does slow down a little bit, and I feel like it's warranted. In a big movie like this, you gotta have those little moments where you slow down a little bit, you get a bit of character development, you gotta kind of pace the movie a bit, but I feel like maybe it just lulls for a little bit too long. And when it does get to that next big action piece, it is like, bang, balls to the walls again to the end of the movie, and you're kind of like, I don't want this to end. I feel like if the movie had just reined itself in by like 15, 20 minutes, it would have felt like it was better paced. It would have felt like that it was like just a nice, smooth, easy ride from beginning to end. There are so many great 3-hour movies out there where you sit through it and it's like the time flies and you don't even realize. This movie just felt like it overstayed its welcome just a little bit. And I feel like if it was just a little bit shorter, it would probably be like a perfect action film. But everything else about this movie it's practically perfect. I just loved it. This is the action blockbuster that I feel like we've needed from the Craig era, and it's a great movie to celebrate the return of cinemas as well. This is just a really great celebration of cinema, this movie. This is like, it embraces everything, not only about the James Bond franchise, but about big blockbusters that we love. Big, serious, kind of adult blockbuster movies with a little bit of a silly edge that really throws you back to your childhood. At that, I'm going to be very happy to be giving No Time to Die a 4.5 out of 5. No Time to Die is a terrific send-off for Daniel Craig and his era of Bond. A huge, bombastic blockbuster of the best kind, with plenty of insane action, fun moments, and exciting throwbacks to the franchise history. Despite a slightly muddled pacing in parts, it's easily the single best Craig era Bond, and perhaps my favourite ever. At that, it feels like No Time to Die has been open to the rest of the world forever now, but here in Australia, it opens on Thursday, the 11th of November 2021. Go and check out this movie. It is incredible. See it on the biggest screen possible because it's visually gorgeous too. I didn't mention that, but it looks stunning. I didn't get to see it at the IMAX. I think it would be fantastic at the IMAX. Thanks to the incredible team over at Universal Pictures Australia for organising an early screening of Bond, No Time to Die, and inviting me along to it for the purposes of this review. And thanks to everybody out there for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.